Okay, so end of day one. Um, no footage from inside the venue. You probably get a little super cut before now about why. In fact, I'm just going to overlay it over the two pictures that I've taken here, and then I'll cut to the main screen. So basically, there is a media policy when it comes to big events like this, where certain areas can and can't be recorded, certain areas can and can't be photographed. Usually, basically, you need a judge's permission. If not, it's just straight up not allowed. I asked a couple judges and the head judge on the table whether or not it'd be okay to record some stock footage of the venue, and I was basically told wait until either you're knocked out of the main event by going whatever X3, X4 when you decide to drop, or better yet, just wait until the first 10 rounds are done, wait until they get into top 32, and make sure you do your recordings off to the side and do it then. So I'll hopefully get some footage then. But basically, we had about, I think it was 770 odd people arrive for Sydney, which is actually not bad considering the massive bushfires we have right now. I did hear from a few groups that entire teams of people from WA, Queensland, and Victoria basically didn't come because they were either coming with only one or two people because just the bushfires have been affecting them. So to get that many is pretty good, but it did mean that we still played a 10 rounder, which was a pretty, it's standard 10 rounds. You don't go into 11 until you breach 1,024 people, I think. Luke went 5-2. He's playing Altergeist at the moment. He's doing pretty well considering he made his deck list Friday morning, as in like pre-reg morning. I've gone 5-2 as well. I'll go through that in a second. Paul went 4-3. His opponent in round 7 didn't show up, so this puts him 4-3. And while he did enter into the into day 2, we're not sure if a X3 record will make it. Braden is 4-2-1. He actually did my record from last year. He did it himself, which is a bit unfortunate because it's kind of at that point with the numbers where we don't know if a 2-1 record, X2-1 record will actually make it. But I basically said, look, go into day 2 and go into clean sweep the next 3 rounds. If he goes 7-2-1, he's in with a shot. And unfortunately, Nick Vortex went 2-3 and decided to drop at round 5. He was just not having a good day. My rounds were kind of all over the place. I only won one of my dice rolls. I was forced to go second in all but 2 matches. One where I won the dice roll and one where I lost the dice roll, but for Cyber Dragon. We'll get to that. First round was against Salamangreat. Went 2-1 my way. Floodgates are an amazing thing. Not much really to say there, but the running gag that you're going to find with a lot of these matches is that none of these people knew how to verse Subterrors, and every single person was reading my cards multiple times in order to figure it out, which was fine to a point until they were reading it for the 3rd time, and then I would just start dumbing it for them and say, you don't need to read this card unless you're looking for something specific. It's like, what does this card do? You've read Guru for the 4th time. Flip boy down, like, it's pretty easy. Second round was Sky Striker Orcust. If I'd won that dice roll, I won. I opened double floodgates against him, plus usual Guru combo as well as Imperm. So it was just, but I had to go second against him. So I Impermed the Galatea in game 1, but it just was not enough. The man set up IP Masquerain, Ding, and Galatea. Like, he just had the fucking nuts without a normal summon. Like, he just kept going. So that didn't work. And the second game, because I managed to go first again, I pretty much had everything I needed, but I was able to go first this time. He ate a couple hand traps on me on his turn while I still set up the whole Fiendish Guru, flipping things face down, made sure he couldn't get to Galatea, and basically just I kept him pinned to the point he couldn't get to any position where he could link to. Like, at any point he had him face down monster and just not enough materials. In game 3, however, I made a siding error. I sided in Super Poly and Lancia. My opening hand was Imperm, Guru, Fiendus, Archer, Lancia. So I kind of sat there and went, well, I can Imperm a Galatea, or I can just Lancia early. And I decided to Lancia early. He went straight to Sky Striker plays and ended on like Shizuku, Set, Widowmaker Plus, and then I drew into Super Polymerization. I couldn't play properly. And by the time the Super Poly was even playable, he had Boral Sword combo with Ding on me for game. I just could not stop him. So lost that one. Salomon Great Player in round 3 is eclipsed by game 3. We're having one hell of a back and forth, and time in the round got cold. He had 4,000 damage on me. I cleared his entire board, but I cleared that entire board in a battle phase where time was called. Cucked by time, not much we can do. But when you're sitting on 3 negates ready with, it's like Ash, Imperm, Fiendus with Ghost Ogre ready for destruction against Salomon Great with a floodgate drawn into by Extravagance before you called the battle phase, you're winning if you have 5 more minutes, but not much you can do there. Round 4. Oh, pardon me. It was a fun and trying day. It was against Cyber Dragon. I lost a dice roll, forced to go first. Immediately called that I was facing Cyber Dragon. He won game 1 because he hard opened his one-off Ash Blossom that he was main decking, and also his one-off Cybernetic Overflow. What the heck? What he meant to do when it's just like the perfect things to just stop my plays. In game 2, I put him under a Floodgate because I opted still to go first, even though it is Cyber Dragon. But his Floodgate Fiendus Ash, he couldn't break it. And in game 3, he couldn't really play all that much. He opted to go first, but he made an odd move of making Constellanite Diamond, which does nothing against me. So I just went Guru, turn it face down, Hidden City, Guru face up, add Cave Clash, because I end up summoning Guru through Fiendus. So that when Guru attacked into the face down Constellar Diamond, at the point of calculating damage, it was 2100, attack into 2000 defense, and he just had Seeger. And then I flipped the Floodgate on him. Not much you can do there. Round 5 against Salomon Great that's another 2-1 victory. The second game, I super polyed him and then drew in a super poly, but he added the Violet Chimera that I made, so that was a bit of an off. But in game 3, I went back and just played my usual turn, and I ended up doing an OTK with Guru, because I ended up sancting him into Scythe, and I followed up with Scythe, Umistrix, Colossus, Guru, which is 8,000 exactly, if my math is correct. So that ended pretty well. And round 6, I first Altergeist, which was my only 2-0 victory. It's funny how your multi-faker might be in hand, but if I keep negating the activation of all of your traps, you'll never be able to trigger multi-faker. And then the one time when he did summon multi-faker, I immediately impermed it because he didn't have protocol ready. So he also forgot the effect of Hidden City, third effect of Hidden City twice, which was great. And my final opponent, which happened to be one of our locals from Adelaide, was playing Heroes. He opted to go first, which Heroes generally don't want to do. It was the best call he could have made because I was holding the absolute nuts for going first. But, hindsight, he shouldn't have. It's Heroes. They want to go second. But he couldn't set anything up, decent. So I ended up setting up a solid board, passing turn back to him, and he just couldn't out a single Guru back by Final Battle with Fiendus ready. He couldn't get Malicious Bane on board because I just kept making sure that Dark Calling never stuck. Game 2, I didn't open anything Subterra related that was even decent, and I got one shot with the Link 3 with Piercing. It attacked for 6k, that kind of hurts. But then in game 3, I just had him locked behind Guru flipping his stuff face down so he couldn't Link summon into the Cross Guy. Link 2, which is a really good card, might I add. He couldn't Link. I kept negating his fusions. I first negated a Polymerization, then I negated a Dark Calling. And when he did end up doing a mask change, he was mask changing a Stratos into Blast, and that's not really good enough against Guru control. He did reduce the Colossus I had on board by half attack, but when he did that, I just went fine. Guru turned it face down, and he couldn't play. So yeah, sitting there on a 5-2 record. So we're going into day 2, but the only way we get into top cut is if we clean sweep the next 3 rounds. We need 3 wins to go 8-2 to get into top cut. A draw or a loss. A draw I could sneak, but I don't think I will. A loss I'm definitely out, and then we'll drop and we'll start playing side events. But yeah, we'll fun times. We'll see how that goes, and I'll catch you after that one happens when we continue this at the end of day 2. See ya.